ladies and gentlemen. Just a story for you. When I was a little child of around 8, 9, 10, my maternal grandmother, she was the only person who sold food in the straw market. Her name was Lena Johnson. She was born in Cat Island, Bennett's Harbour, Cat Island. Yes. And we used to say she sold her hair for color because she was Conky Joe type looking, but she had hard hair. Her hair was hard. Her hair was hard like rock. And she was scared of hair comb all her life. She used to pour a little hot and go. And she had hair long down to the tip of her buttocks, to the tip of her hips. She had hair, but it was hard. And she had such long, beautiful hair, even though it was hard. And she was like white looking. That's what I mean, Conky Joe looking. That's a Bahamian term. She's like white looking. And when you pass and you hear other old people like her describing her, they used to say she sold her hair for a color. Yeah, you learn plenty things from the old folks. She was the only person, you believe that? Because if you go to the straw market today, everybody and their grandma's trying to sell food. Everybody and their grandma trying to sell food. She was the only person selling food in the straw market. And you know something? She worked for 30 years. She worked for 30 years as the cook, the government house. She worked for 30 years as the cook for government house. And when she retired from government house, she was selling food in the straw market. Ain't that something? You heard I say government house, the main house of the country. She was a cook for 30 years there. And oh, my grandmother could cook. And all my cousins, them, the new bowls, them, from Bennett's Harbour, Cat Island. It's plenty of them. Auntie Neen children. My Auntie Neen is my that same grandmother, her sister. And we call her Auntie Neen. Okay? That's my grandmother's sister. Her children, because she had a good much children. Majority of them were police officers. Hillett, New Bowl, Kirkland, New Bowl. They had a few of them. Because they were older than me, and they were like my second cousin, because they my mommy first cousins. They like two sister children. My grandmother and her sister children, so they my mother first cousins and they my second cousin. When you see around 12 noon through the week, when we was be off on summer leave as little kids, my grandmother yard children in the Valley Corner used to be full of police motorbike. Full of police motorbike. Because she cooking and call them, they get their food to feed them. And she always used to say, oh child, they police officers. They gotta eat good. She used to cook and feed them. And that's how we got to know them, because we were smaller. So that's how we got to know them. And yes, I'm so proud of my lineage, and that's why I'm telling my story. So one day my children and their children and their children could know, because too much of us do not know our lineage. We don't know past our first great grandparents. We don't know hardly anything. And so this is an avenue to tell stories and to do all the things I love to do. Okay? So I'm taking full advantage. Hey, somebody. So she was the only person who had a stall in the straw market. And back then, the straw market, the back of the straw market was close to the door. The sea line was close to the door. And the Honorable, late former Prime Minister Sir Lyndon Pinland, they had a problem in the Bahamas. You know what the problem was? The problem was it was too much conch shells all over the place, stinking up the place. And they couldn't put them on a dump because it's not a proper disposal. It'd still be the same thing because they tried that. It's still the same thing. And so, in his wisdom, consulting with others, they decided that they need to extend the back road by that straw market so that traffic or cars could be able to ride past. Because, you know, way back in the day, a lot of people used to use horse in the carriage, or they use bicycle. But majority of people walk. And that's why people thought that Nassau was the capital of the Bahamas. The reason they thought Nassau was the capital of the Bahamas because it was only Nassau, the city of Nassau. It wasn't all the South Beach and all Pinewood and all these places yet. All of those places were bush. All those places was bush. Okay? So everything was more in city limits. We didn't have much population like that back here. Our population has exploded, believe it or not, because we have a lot of foreigners came here and intermarried, and some come and remain. But our population was really small back then. It wasn't big at all. It wasn't big at all, you know? And they went and they carried out that mandate. They built that road off of conch shell, people. That was the solution to the conch shell problem. See, every time it's a problem, you know, use people dwelling on the problem. You have to find the solution now to deal with the problem. I dare anybody, in my little wisdom, if you go in the back of the straw market, from they build that road with plenty conch shells and of course fill, but the conch shell make it solid. From they build that road, they never had to rebuild that road. And I was a child with 8 or 9 and 10, and I remember that and grow up 12 and 13 going to the stall with my grandmother. Okay? All right? And they built that up of a conch shell with that. It took a couple good months. But child, look here. They did an awesome job. Because you never had to see them had to build that road in the back there. And that looked just as good as it built all those years ago. I'm talking about a good 40, something almost 50 years ago. All right? That's how long that was. Okay? That's how long that was. 2 cars could never pass in the back there. They didn't have all those things going to be in the back there. They extended that. I am saying the straw market used to be almost close to the door in the back there. Okay? They extended all of that. All right? With conch shell. That was the solution to the conch shell problems. And let me tell you something. Those conch shell build excellent road. They around here with these potholes opening and opening and opening. They need to take some of them old conch shell. It can break down, yeah. But then with the fill in it, it makes it solid. It makes it solid. They need to maybe try that. That could be a solution to the problem because that's what in the back there build up off. It seems like people who older, that's why they need to talk. That's what's wrong with our country. We don't say what take place. And that's why if whatever little knowledge I have, I want to impart that so others can know how things were done. You can learn from the forefathers, and that's what you need to learn from too. Okay? And so she was the only place in the straw market. My grandmother used to sell it every day. Every day she sell it. We used to be hungry, can't even get food because she ain't cooking no more. My mother ain't checking, ain't cooking no more. You understand me? But everybody that eat out there. So I was smart. I used to help her carry all the stuff out there, help her work out there, and get my food while I out there, because I know when she come home, she done sell it, I ain't got nothing. At least I can eat the pork cake with leave out. Yes. Yes. But that's a little story to think about, how the roads were built in the back there. What they were built up of. Conch shells. The wisdom. You see that? The wisdom. The wisdom of the late former Prime Minister Sir Lyndon Pinland. It built up of conch shells. And go check out how good it still is. Go check how good it still is. Now, they're wrong about what they had old west when they put the conch shell around. When they first pull it, it looked nice and pretty, right? But all they had to do is something called maintenance. Since the Chinaman them helped do that building by Bama and put the conch shell, all they had to do is go get some newer conch shell after a while and spray it, and it will keep maintaining. Okay? Because when it's exposed to the element, it will break down. It will break down. You notice that? It will break down. But a conch shell in the sea lasts almost forever. See the difference? It knows its place. Get it right. That was beautiful. Looked like jewels was put there. The conch shell looked like jewels was put there. After a while, they break down. All you have to do is put one or two more on top of that to redo it, because you got to maintain things. And they actually could get a pink spray and spray that, and that would be the most gorgeous thing you could want when it started to break down from the elements. You know what I'm saying? That's how you could do things. You know, you go around some people's house, the conch shell has been there for years, maintained for years. But a conch shell is a very dangerous thing. A conch shell is a very dangerous thing. I'll talk about that in another video. But that's how in the back of that straw market was built up. All this little road problem we have. All these little big hole. I mean, the hole so big. My car was shaking when I hit one of the holes. I say, oh God, you know I ain't got no money. You know I ain't got no money. I can't afford to fix nothing. I couldn't see the hole because there was so much water, babies. It was too much water. Man, all them conch shell. Man, you ain't got no rock. Put some conch shell there, put some fill in there, and that can last a little better. At least the conch shell will be there, even if the hole open back up a little bit. It ain't gonna be that bad because the conch shell still gonna be there. Oh my God, we need to take a little better. We need to do a little better. Because you can learn from the old folks. So Lyndon put conch shell to build that road, because it was a conch shell problem. Now, a lot of young people come around doing that, because like I say, the forefathers don't talk about things, and that's why you need to talk about things. Sensible things. Stop worrying about who dressed what and who looked like what. Talk sensible things. That's sensible things, so you can know, maybe I could use conch shell. Yeah, all these places would need building up. Fix them with conch shell, put them on the thing, and you ain't got to worry about it. You ain't have no flood no more. All these roads got a belly in it. When I say they got a belly in it, an ebb in it, that's what the Elucha folks got. It's got an ebb in it. That's how the Elucha folks say. It's got an ebb in it. Marcel, it's got an ebb in it. That's how them Rockside people is talking. Marcel, it got an ebb in it. That means it got a little curve in it. You know. It to the naked eye, when it's sunny and shiny, it look like it even. It ain't even. It ain't even. And so when the rain comes, you can see the unevenness, because you can see where the water settle is an ebb in it. So that needs to straighten out and put, So Lyndon used conch shell. That's what Sir Lyndon them use. Conch shell. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. So we can do plenty fixing with some of them conch shell. Hello. Instead of selling them wherever they selling them or whatever they doing. Over and out. Over and out.